МВФ прогнозирует инфляцию до 10 миллионов процентов.
Не знаю, что сказать, не нахожу слов.
После попытки госпереворота.
Революция, цветная революция.
Катастрофа только предстоит оценить.
Я не могу поверить. Беспорядки устроили выходцы из Африки.
Погибли 16 человек.
В стране образовался вакуум власти.
Хулиганы жгли мусорные баки, громили городское имущество.
Пока демократия не будет восстановлена.
Главные новости сейчас приходят из французской столицы.
The modern world economic system can lead humanity to shocks of unprecedented scale, next to which any economic crisis may seem like child's play. There are very good reasons for this. The mechanisms for the growth of the world economy is first of all the expansion of markets and the increase in consumption. But is there any space for expansion today? Of course not. Today, the market has become global. The whole territory of the world has been mastered. It can be noted that no matter what country you come to, you meet the same brands, products, and chain stores everywhere. This is one of the signs of the expansion of the world markets. The fact that there is simply nowhere to expand further was one of the reasons for the global crisis of 2008. Increased consumption. Consumption is stimulated by lendings. At first, after receiving a loan, the purchasing power increases, but then it decreases markedly as the person works to not only repay the debt, but to also repay the interest on it. This problem is solved, if it is possible to say so, by various programs of refinancing, new offers from banks and advertising from banking products. The illusion of cheap loans is created. Thus, people are hooked on a credit needle. For example, in Switzerland, the average debt for each resident on loans to banks is about $145,000. In the USA, it is $55,000. Canadians have accumulated the largest debts. Collectively, the inhabitants of the country owed on average more than $1 trillion in loans. Credit debt of the population in the world has reached a real historical maximum. This has led mankind to a vicious circle. Banks are forced to issue loans to maintain demand, but debt growth in the long run leads to a decrease in demand and consequently to a slowdown in a world economic growth, a decrease in production. As a result, fewer and fewer people in the world will be able to repay the debts on loans. Another significant problem of the world economy is the gap between the rich and the poor, which is growing rapidly every year. Today, 82% of the world's wealth belongs to 1% of the world's population. This doesn't show the flourishing of the world economy. On the contrary, it shows the collapse of the economic order. Production processes are automated and robotized. Human labor is less and less in demand. As a result, more people stay without work. This raises the threat of global instability and civil wars. Are there any real solutions to these problems? In recent years, we often hear about the new economic evolution of the world, or NEW for short. NEW invites the person to participate in the activities of the companies which services he uses. It gives people the opportunity to be co-owners of the companies and thus participate in the management and monitoring that will prevent the waste of public money. The co-investors with the right to receive profits and dividends. The consumers with the opportunity to increase their income by consuming the product, attracting other consumers, and the businessmen by attracting new investors through multi-level crowd investing. What has already been done today? On the 30th of March 2019, thanks to the multi-level crowd investing, the program crypto unit started. Its immediate result exceeded all expectations. For the first 3 days, the first stage of the 8 scheduled was fully implemented, which was expected to be a month. Thus, 12,000 users were members of a program. From the period of 30th of March till the 30th of September 2019 was created the sales volume of more than $107 million. The program allows people to become, regardless of their income level, co-owners, partners, real estate investors, and shareholders of a global investment portfolio that works in all segments and sectors of the investment market, namely education, the development sector, multi-level crowd investing sector, the sector of equity partnership in businesses through co-sharing, the development sector of health and longevity, the sector of innovative transport development, Skyway, the banking sector, stock markets, forex markets, cryptocurrency markets, insurance sector, real estate sector, the sector of innovation development, the sector of development in agriculture and farming, the business sector, cooperative and social development, science sector, the cultural sector, the sector of precious metals and semi-precious metals, the sector of precious and semi-precious stones, the sector of space development, non-rocket space program Spaceway, the sector of charity. We have already created an investment portfolio that is worth more than $12 million. The capital gains for the 52 months are averaged at 26% a day. This investment portfolio can include all participants of the crypto unit program. The funds received will be reinvested in the further expansion of the investment portfolio, thereby increasing the amount of assets and accordingly revenues. All holders of crypto unit digital assets are included in the portfolio in different shares depending on their amount of deposits. Based on historical data in the investment market sectors, many companies have the following returns. Let's suppose the company invests in the education sector, which should give us more than 30% a year. In the venture capital market, which is able to give more than 80 to 500% a year. In the banking and financial sector, which can give us more than 20% per year on currency exchange and brokerage operations. The stock, currency and crypto markets can give us more than 50% a year. The real estate sector will give us from 10 to 20% per year. Innovative development gives us more than 20% per year. Equity participation in various sectors of the economy and businesses gives us an income of 20% a year. Culture can provide us with a yield of more than 20% a year. Investments in the development and extraction of precious and semi-precious metals and stones, more than 25% a year. The sector of multi-level crowd investing, more than 100% per year. Investments in innovative transport technologies, Skyway, will be able to give more than 50 to 500% a year. The agriculture and farming sector can yield more than 30% a year. Having analysed the practice of the company operating in the sectors of the investment market, we can assume that the return on such a portfolio is 30 to 230% per year, and in some cases it is possible to get more. Guaranteed payment of dividend income on this amount from 8 to 35% of the profits of these assets. Let's suppose our assets already amount to 100 million. The average return on a portfolio will be 80% per year, that is 80 million per year. An average of 20% will go to pay dividend income, which is 16 million. The remaining 64 million is reinvested for expansion of the business and buying new assets. Expanding annually, the assets of such a portfolio are capable to grow exponentially, giving a huge capital increase according to the balanced strategy of the program of crypto unit. Thus, thanks to multi-level crowd investing, we are able to unite more than 35% of the world's population, acquiring more and more assets in all sectors of the investment market in different economic systems of the world community. What does this mean for a usual person in different countries of the world? This means that there is a real chance to enter with very little capital into a large investment portfolio and get all that this portfolio receives, creating a global investment portfolio which gives people the best and never before existing opportunities in investment directions. Thanks to this, we will be able to come collectively to the qualitative progressive development of the society on the planet, build new ecological cities, live in harmony with nature, helping it to be constantly updated. This will give us the opportunity to develop a completely new way of evolution. Such an opportunity happens once in a lifetime for all people on the planet.